Alright, so like the last day or two, I have been really into like this Navy SEAL combat footage, like this American soldier combat footage type of videos. Um, in this one we have SEAL Team 6 raiding Al-Shabaab compound. Um, yeah, I got recommended one of these kind of videos where it showed like the GoPro of a soldier, and like them in the middle of combat. It was very interesting. It's the first time I saw a video like that on YouTube, and then ever since I watched that, I've been in like a little bit of a loophole, of watching these kind of videos. So I thought I would bring, a bit of a reaction to one of these videos, and maybe if you guys like it, I will keep doing these kind of videos. Um, I hope it's not like the police activity videos where, those ones are pretty bloody. I don't think you're gonna be able to see that much. Usually it does not look too gory in the ones that I have seen, so we will see. Um, but yeah, man, it's only 9 minutes long. Uh, SEAL Team 6 raiding Al-Shabaab compound. Sounds pretty interesting, not gonna lie.
2013, there was a terrorist attack at the mall in Nairobi, Kenya. 10 armed gunmen entered the mall and killed 71 people and injured over 200. Just a few days after the attack, the terrorist group Al-Shabaab took responsibility. The exact timeline of this is unknown and likely still classified, but sometime after the terrorist attack, a mission was given to Naval Special Warfare Development Group Red Squadron. The details of this mission are coming from former U.S. Navy SEAL DJ Shipley, who at the time was a member of Red Squadron. He spoke about the details of this mission during a podcast on the Sean Ryan Show. I will, of course, have the links to both DJ Shipley's YouTube channel with GBRS Group, as well as the Sean Ryan Show. I can't recommend both of those channels enough. They are two of my personal favorite YouTube channels on the platform, and I highly recommend you check them out. This mission came straight from the president, so it was a big top priority mission for DevGru. DJ said it was the biggest mission he did in his career. Their mission was to capture the man responsible for the attack on the mall, but more specifically, they had to capture him alive. They were under no circumstances to kill this man. The intel DevGru received for the mission was that the target was currently in his beachside bungalow, which was believed to basically just be his vacation spot where he goes to watch TV and do whatever terrorists do to relax. But unfortunately, the intel wasn't exactly correct. The house being right on the water gave the team the perfect way to approach the target building without being noticed. So they dropped into the ocean and swam their way to shore deep.
Okay, hold on. See, like, this is some badass shit right here, dude. Like, you're sending your absolute best squad in to get this guy, just like Osama bin Laden. You're sending your absolute best group in to get this dude. Like, these boys are going underwater and they're tracking this man down. They're not gonna kill you, which is worse. They're not gonna kill the target. Like, ooh, sneaking into a whole Al-Shabaab compound. Bro, the US military they're some badass people, dude. Like, the videos that I've been watching, them in combat, oof, like, there was one in particular where they were ambushed by Taliban, and like they were sitting in the middle of this bamboo field kind of thing, um, and like there was three of the military soldiers, and there was like I don't know 7 to 10 Taliban soldiers that they were talking about. Took them all out, didn't lose a single life, didn't even get shot once. Bro, like they were literally laying down in the middle of bamboo, which like you're still able to get shot, harder to see you, but like that you could see like the gunfire coming from the tree line, and like you just have the guy that you're watching the point of view from. He's just like it's ooh man. I don't explain it that good, but oh man, they're U.S. military. It's a badass thing, man. It's a badass unit. It's Simply put.
deep underwater, using the deep blue ocean water to conceal their approach.
That's so
But there was
crazy.
a small slaughterhouse on the water that dumped their waste into the ocean, and years of them dumping blood and guts and fat into the ocean water had made the entire area completely infested with great white sharks, waiting for the next batch of food to be dropped off from the slaughterhouse. It was far too late to back out of the mission now, so the team had no choice but to swim.
So not only are they going to fight freaking Al-Shabaab, they're fighting great white sharks too, in their territory.
Straight through the large group of great whites. Thankfully, they reached the shore without anyone being eaten, but DJ Shipley says it was the fastest any of them had ever swam.
Yeah,
When they arrived at the target building, their first obstacle was a wall surrounding the entire perimeter like a big compound. DJ started to work with the lock to see if he could get the gate open, but he noticed a string going from the gate all the way into the building. The team assumed that it's probably just an early warning device and the string is hooked to a bell or something that will let the people inside know that the gate has been opened. But the team got the gate open and pressed on towards the building regardless.
Oh my God.
As they approached the building, they started taking fire from the rooftop, so they quickly got to cover. And then the mother of all firefights kicked off. They started taking fire from the balconies and windows from all 3 floors of the building. It was now very clear that the enemy had been preparing for their arrival for a long time. And this definitely wasn't just a beachside vacation home. The building was a complete fortress. The structure had no doors or windows on the first floor. They had all been boarded up and reinforced from the inside. The team sprinted to the front of the building to what they assumed had to be the front door, in hopes of making their way into the building to get some cover from the chaos happening outside. But as soon as they reached the door, an enemy soldier inside the building unloads a belt-fed PKM machine gun through the front door, tearing through it. Bullets and wood chips begin flying all around the team, but miraculously no one was hit. The team quickly divides to either side of the door, rolling out of the way. At least at this point, the PKM has revealed the location of the front door, but the team is now pinned down outside up against the walls on the front of the house. DJ gets his breaching charge ready and waits until the PKM stops shooting long enough to give him a window to slap the charge on the door. The only issue is, even with the PKM destroying the door, this is still a very thick, large door, and they need a pretty big charge to blow it through. And the team is standing way too close to the door for a charge this size, but they have no other options, so they all turn their heads and blow the charge.
Oh my
Taking a shockwave of that size immediately blows all of their eardrums and gives them a serious concussion. But the show must go on. Now with the door finally opened up, the team can see at the end of a long hallway the dude with the PKM is set up behind a wall of sandbags waiting for them to come in the door. But before the team even has a chance to enter, a few more enemies on the first floor start throwing grenades through the door. So the team is now completely pinned down up against the wall, trying not to get blown up. At the same time, they have more DevGru guys assaulting the rooftop and second floor of the building, but they have encountered very similar issues and are also completely pinned down. So the team decides there's absolutely no way they're getting the target out of here alive, and they aren't allowed to kill them, so they have no choice but to leave. The problem is the gate they used to get in there is their only way out, and now that they've blown the front door open, the gate is in direct line of sight of the PKM. So the only way out of here is directly through the storm of machine gun fire. So the team is pinned down at the wall, trading grenades back and forth through the door, trying to figure out how the heck they're going to get out of here. And just when you think things can't get any worse for them, they get a call over the radio letting them know that a huge enemy QRF in technicals is heading their way now. So the team has no choice but to make one last desperate move to get out of here as quickly as possible. So they simultaneously fire an RPG round down the hallway towards the sandbag and throw every grenade and breaching charge they have through the door. The blast and shockwave was so intense it blew multiple team members off the porch and away from the wall. But somehow the PKM seems completely unaffected and never let off the trigger. Regardless, the team gets up and sprints out the gate towards the ocean as fast as they can. Miraculously, none of them were hit by the PKM.
Wow.
The team gets down to the water and does a quick head count to make sure they're not missing anyone. But at this point, the enemy QRF has arrived and there is a huge enemy force chasing them. So they jump back in the water with the great white sharks and swim as far out at sea as they possibly can. Once they reached a safe distance from shore, they turned on their IR strobes and waited to be picked up by Zodiacs. When the Zodiacs arrived, they threw out ropes for the team members to hold on to. DJ Shipley says he wrapped the rope around his wrist and held on for dear life as they dragged them through the dark ocean water.
Oh my god.
But the waves were rough that night, and when the Zodiacs reached higher speeds, it dislocated DJ's shoulder. He heard a loud popping noise, and suddenly his entire arm went numb. So he quickly grabbed the rope with his other hand and did the same thing, wrapping it around his wrist and forearm. But just a few seconds later, he heard another loud pop.
No
it
shot.
completely dislocated both shoulders now. But thankfully, the rope stayed wrapped around his forearm and just dragged him through the water back to base.
Bro.
Once they got back to base, DJ says they were all completely covered in fragmentation. They literally had metal shavings all over them, in their ears, their eyelids, their noses, their mouths. They were covered head to toe in metal shavings, but miraculously none of the fragmentation had penetrated their skin. DJ said it made absolutely no sense at all. It was like God put his hands around them and said, "Not today."
Okay. Hold on, man. Okay. That went not exactly how I thought it would go. So, the intel they got was not exactly correct. They show up, only to find that every single soldier in that area was just sitting there ready for them, knowing an attack was going to be coming. So, knowing that, the soldiers still fight their way into the compound a little bit, until they come to the PKM. And then they're like, oh shit, that's a problem. So they deal with that. They blow up they give themselves a concussion because they breached way too close. And they still, are able to do their job and, probably make the smart decision not to keep pushing forward because they said they're not going to be able to find the guy alive or keep him alive. So they leave with a concussion, and while swimming through great white sharks, and while having dislocated shoulders, and while having a machine gun spraying bullets at them constantly. And not a single one got hit. Bro, the training and the bravery of those boys is something that... It's a reason, only 1% of people in America join the military? It's a very low percentage. Very, very low percentage. But, I mean, dude, it takes a special breed of person to be able to do that shit. And Navy SEAL Team 6, bro. That's... I don't know if that's, the highest of the high anymore or not. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I know they're really freaking good at what they do. So, whew. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please drop a like, hit that subscribe button, man. If you want to see more of these kind of videos, let me know. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.